So Madison, do you want to chime in and just kind of explain that beginning process? So the storyboarding, and you're, not to give too much detail, but you're on the West Coast, right? So you did most of this work remotely, I assume?
I did, yes. Yes, I'm out in San Diego, as well as our other producer and our director is out here as well. And so we worked together. The customer provided an overview of what they were looking to do and what they were looking to communicate to their audience. And it involved a lot of decision points in the video, in the film that we were creating. So as you envision the film, envision these like stop and discuss points. So that was a really neat to incorporate into this video and into this video style. So we started with what they had given us and what they were looking for their audience to learn and to understand the learning objective. And our script writer created a script and then worked with the SME to guide that script in the most realistic way possible. And then I strove to bring it alive through the storyboarding. And storyboarding is a tool that we use to communicate ideas among our team and then with our SMEs and with our customer. So I started creating basic illustrations of key shots for the production and would put them in the sequence of the story that we were trying to tell. And as you look at the storyboard, it helps you figure out camera angles and lighting and sound needs. And if there's any holes in the production, like, oh, we forgot that we need to make this happen, right, either in a logistical way or in a visual way. And then we shared the script and the storyboard back with the customer, and they looked over it and they helped us identify like key moments, again, for their learning objective, where it was like, we're really close here, but we need to create more space, for example, between an officer and a subject, because that's a law enforcement role that we want to properly convey. Or in our learning objective, we need this decision point where we need to show a bombing suspect's hands in a certain way, because that helps the audience know how to respond in a real life situation. So the customer would give us feedback, as well as the SMEs would give us feedback on that storyboard, again, as we were all communicating the ideas of what we intended to create for this final deliverable.
Yeah, and you're hitting a point that I wanted to bring up about the SME. So, and we talked about this in the first season, so it's going to be a lot of that line coming back up as we talk. But for AVIAN, I think we're very unique because video production is only one of our capabilities. And we have SMEs internally, which for this project was our director of CTS, I believe.
Yes.
And we also had that external SME come in and help as well. So do you guys want to talk a little bit about what that was like?
Yeah, that was quite instrumental, as Madison was talking about. And it really, she did a wonderful job getting that feedback from both our internal counter threat solutions director, Tyler, and our external SME from the customer. So Madison, why don't you give us more about that meeting and maybe some specifics that, in addition to what you've already said, that they brought up. Particularly, I know we learned things about costuming and props, and, as you said, location, space.
Sure. Yes, we want everything to show an expert opinion. And so as we involved them, we ran the costumes by them, saying, like, is this the look that you're going for? From small things like matching the correct season to big things, matching the region, matching the rank, matching the proper radio that they would be using to communicate, matching the proper weapon, and how they would use it. So the SMEs were really helpful in some of the logistics. And then also, as we worked through the script, how would the actor or actresses move in a specific way? How would they speak in this situation? And again, getting the visuals right, things that we wouldn't have known were instrumental. And like when, someone's hands are placed on a steering wheel, we need to see them a certain way because, again, it's part of the learning objective for this audience. So it was really neat to hear from their point of view some of the things that we could really strive to absolutely get right for them. But also, I think it was really neat for them to kind of hear how we were working on it and how we were, improving their vision and how we were all going to work together to make it happen. And again, have it an expert level production for our customer.
Yeah, and I think I remember hearing maybe Beth talk about, Beth is the VP for our TMC and T&E sectors at Avian. So she oversees kind of the whole team. But I think I recall her saying like the police officer, the law enforcement officer that was on scene because we needed a police vehicle, right? Kind of turned himself into a SME. And you hit some of those points already where like, how would you pull a gun out of a holster? How would you, or where would you put the radio on your uniform and that kind of stuff? So we had, like we already talked about, our internal SME, our external SME, but the having that law enforcement officer on the set also, from what I've heard, helped just bring that realistic aspect to it as well.
Yeah, he was completely awesome. And what we learned during our customer meetings, that Madison asked really great questions, as well as our scriptwriter. What emotion are we trying to convey? What reaction are you looking for from the audience, so that we could make sure we built that into not only the script, but into our shooting and our camera angles and our costuming. Madison even went as far as had visuals of all the different options,
Right.
so that both our internal SME and external SME could select those. And then our onset SME, law enforcement officer, was also instrumental in making sure that even though the weapon was a prop, that it was handled correctly.
Right.
It was always in our possession, unless it was with the actor, and the guidance to make sure that it appeared safe, even though it was a prop.
Right.
Everyone knew it was a prop. However, to make the scenario as realistic as possible, we wanted to treat it as a realistic session. And our young production assistant, who was in charge of the utility belt, was given very clear directions where everything went after, and she followed them to the letter. So it's always helpful to have those people on set with you,
Yep.
so that we're telling the story correctly, and that everything that's in the script and everything that's in the beautiful storyboard is translated to film.
Let's talk about.
Yes, and I'll just add there too, if you don't mind, Ian, if I jump in. We do plan things so well, but also things change. The weather changed. We had a personnel situation that required rewriting the script on site, and so having this need there was amazing to be like, look, we need to ship from an exterior to an interior location. And so, our on-site director was amazing to rewrite the script and to involve this me. Look, help us navigate this hallway scenario that we've just now created, and how the officer and the suspect need to be interacting. So, as much planning as we put into it, there's also, an adaptability that always has to happen. And so the on-set chemistry that was there was amazing for, some unforeseeable circumstances.
Right.
Yeah, that's one of the advantages with Avian, is we plan every detail.
Mm-hmm.
Because I'm completely neurotic, so I like to plan every detail ahead of time, which is a wonderful thing, because then when things happen, and the situation was that it was 1,000,000 degrees outside,
Yeah.
and we needed to make a change for not only our team, but for the actors involved and the location involved, and we were able to do that because everything else was planned out, and our team did a wonderful job. We rewrote a script on site.
On site, right.
Pulled all the SMEs in, pulled the actors in after. They all responded very well and were very happy to be inside, because it was 1,000,000 degrees outside. And it ended up working great. The product came out wonderful, and the client really liked it.
I was going to say, if anyone, I know people are listening to this. As you're listening to this is like insider's information, because I didn't even know that you guys had to make that adjustment on set. So kudos to you guys, because I think it turned out great. And like I said, I wouldn't have known that you had to rewrite the script and had to move inside. I knew it was 1,000,000 degrees that day, and you guys are having some challenges there. That's a wrap for this episode of the Full Frame Podcast. We hope you found these tips on leveling up your corporate videos useful. If you're interested in taking your videos to the next level, be sure to check out AVIAN's video production services. Our team is dedicated to creating high-quality, engaging videos that not only tell your story, but help you reach your goals. To learn more, head over to our website at avian.com. That's avian.com. And don't forget to tune in next time for more insights and advice on video production. Thanks for listening.